you need to make different frames for actually using drag and drop photos from your Finder or File Explorer. So I will delete this right now, and this is the brush tool. I have shown you how the brush tool works. This is the clone stamp tool. The clone stamp tool works in a certain way like brush. I mean, it is actually a brush tool itself, but it is a different kind of brush. Clone stamp tool is actually what the name suggests as clone stamp. It means if you are not into graphic designing, and if you are into photo manipulation and all, clone stamp tool actually takes the information of some pixels from a region and puts them into another region. For example, if I made a project. For example, one of my friend told me that he needs some editing in his photos, and he actually gave me a photo with a headphone in his ears. So he told me to remove the headphones, and it should look absolutely as natural as it should be if you are not wearing the headphones. So I used clone stamp tool there to actually remove the headphones. I took the texture of his skin and actually painted over the headphone so that it feels like there is no headphone at all. And that is the use of clone stamp tool. Also, if you guys can see, here is actually a small button near every most probably near every tool. There is a small triangular button here. That triangular button is actually for things like if you long press in Mac, there is long press, and to enable the secondary options. For example, if you long press in this tool, you will get clone stamp tool and pattern stamp tool like this. But if you are on Windows, you will probably using a mouse for that, and you have to right click here to enable the other tools in this hidden in this main tool. So that is how it works. And here is the history brush tool. Okay, history brush tool, but this is a tool which I don't work at all. Means I have never used this tool for so long. I have been using Photoshop for so long, and I have never used this tool at all. But this is like if you do some brush corrections, means there are many tools in Photoshop which actually uses brushes. So if you are into these brush tools, and if you want to edit something, history brush tool will actually remove all the attributes that you have changed there using the brush tool. So that's the only brush tool need. And here is also some other tools, art history brush tool, and like that. You will probably don't need that if you're any kind of things, means web designing, graphic designing, anything. I have never used them for so long. This is the eraser tool, and eraser tool, as the name suggests, if you draw anything, if you draw anything like this is something element, and eraser tool actually erases the part of it. Also, if you may have noticed that I am using the box brackets in my keyboard, on my keyboard, to actually reduce or increase the size of the brushes. Also, you can do the same thing by right clicking on the canvas and choosing the size. If you hold the word size and drag it to here left or right side, you will see that the size is actually, the pixel size is actually changing. So that's the way the attributes are changed in Photoshop. And just simply click enter, and here you now have a bigger size brush. Also, if you are using you want a small size brush, then drag it here, and now press enter, and you can see that there is small brush. And that's how it goes. Now let's delete this layer, and here is the gradient tool. Gradient, you guys have seen that to change from one color to another, or to change from one type of opacity to the other type of opacity. For example, if you are into some poster making and all, you probably seen that, okay, now I am using the marquee tool. Okay, so now let's get started with some kind of poster making and all using the marquee tool. Let's mark a rectangle here and probably draw it with a let me increase the brush size and draw a rectangle here. So this is how a rectangle is made. Now command D to deselect the layer, and as you can see, you can press V to move it in any place you want. Also, if you are making some infographic kind of poster, then you can make a small rectangle here, and here is the photo. For picking the photo, you actually have to make this frame, this kind of frame, to drag and drop the image, and here you will drag the image, and this is a simple kind of poster. But the modern thing is that if you are using this kind of sharp rectangular things for putting the information, it actually won't look good. So what I do is that I probably make a new layer and use the gradient tool. As you can see, my foreground color is red, so my gradient tool is selected as foreground to transparent. You have to just click here to edit the aspects of the gradient tool, and let me take a gradient. First tap and then drag to make line like this, and if you hold shift while dragging, you know that it's actually being on straight lines. If you don't hold shift, you can go here and there, but you actually hold shift, you will go at 0 degree, 45, 90 degree like this. So keep that in mind if you want to make a straight gradient, and I simply extend this by holding shift and leave it. So now you can see a gradient is actually made here, and you can move it here and there as well. So this is what gradient tool does. Let me delete the frame as well. And this is the blur tool. So this is also a brush tool, keep that in mind. Blur tool is actually much more required in photo manipulation. For example, if you are making anything like mountains, editing a photo of mountains, and there you want to keep small birds in the background flying in flocks. So actually, if by the laws of physics, if you are focusing on the mountain, if your camera is focusing on the mountain, then the birds can't be on focus. So you have to blur the birds out if you want to make it realistic. So for that, you have to click the blur tool and drag on the birds to make it blurry. That's how blur tool does. This is the dodge tool. Dodge tool is actually required for modeling and stuff. For example, if you are a model and if you want to do photo manipulation of a girl or a boy, for example, who is the model, then you can actually use the dodge tool to make the things better. Dodge tool actually, as far as I know, dodge tool actually brightens the skin. It will make the skin very much whitish. And if you need to do the burn tool does exactly the opposite thing. It will make the skin blacker. I'm not a racist, but for the sake to make you understand, for the sake of making you understand, I need to use these kind of words. The sponge tool is probably to make the skin smoother. This is the type of tools that is hidden in the dodge tool family. This is the pen tool, and this is the most important tool in Photoshop. No matter what are you doing, if you are a web designer, if you are a graphic designer, photo manipulator, pen tool is absolutely the most important thing or most important tool that you need in Photoshop, and you need to master in pen tool. Using this tool is not an easy job, but I will make a dedicated video on how to master the pen tool. Even for illustrations and making vectors, I need to teach you what is vector. So I will teach you in the later part of this video. If you are making illustrations or cartoons, some kind of that, then you need to do this in vectors. Like this is a small vector that I made. I will teach you how to use this pen tool to do different kinds of illustration, but for now it's just know that it is actually used for making different kind of shapes and all. So just press delete or escape if you are using a Windows computer to delete the paths. This is a text tool, and this is the easiest tool. You just need to click here and type whatever you can. This is exactly what you should expect from the text tool, and this is actually a selection tool. The path selection tool and direct selection tool, the shortcut for this is A. You need the path selection tool or direct selection tool to actually manipulate the shapes or different kinds of element after making that. So if you want to change the path or element after making that element into the Photoshop, then you can actually change the shape or the structure of those elements. That's why you need this direct selection tool or path selection tool. This is actually a shape tool. Shape tool have these kinds of shape. You can denote any custom shape: line tool, polygon tool, ellipse tool, rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool, and this will exactly work in the same way that you expect from the name. For example, if I am in the rectangle tool, it will make a rectangle, just as simple as that. For example, there is also a tool known as the custom shape tool. Let me zoom in. Custom shape tool actually allows you to make different type of custom shapes and save that as a preset into Photoshop. For example, if you use a shape pretty much very often, like if you use a star kind of shape, the star that you see in most of the cartoons and illustrations, if you use that shape very often, then you can actually save that shape as a preset using this custom shape tool. This is actually very handy if you are into those kind of things. So this is the hand tool, or hand tool is actually not much used because most hand tool is actually used for just moving the canvas, and pretty much no one uses the hand tool, because if you are in any tool, like in the move tool, you can actually press the space bar to go really temporarily into the hand tool, and you can move this. So nobody uses hand tool in this way. Or also, if you are in rotate view tool, you can actually rotate the angle of, for example, if you are making any illustration or some kind of thing, if you have any graphic tablet, so you actually need to make some strokes in the graphic tablet. So it may be difficult for you to make vertical strokes like this, but it can be easier for you to make stroke like this. So that's why this rotate view tool is actually used. This is exactly what you should expect from rotate view tool, the name itself. So let me angle save the angle as 0 degree, and that's it. And here is the resize to fit windows. This is actually for just for means resizing the canvas and that kind of stuff. This is not exactly what you should need. And here, this last 3 dots, it is actually hamburger menu kind of stuff. If you are into app development industry, you will know what is a hamburger menu. So if you use this tool, this is actually a tool for editing the toolbar. So that's actually very important if you are if you want to customize the positions of these tools. This is actually not required in any means for us. Just press the move tool and all. Now we have gone through all the tools very quickly, and let's now talk about the foreground and background color. As I have told before, the foreground and background color can be set to default by pressing D and X to toggle between these two colors. And also you can choose this small icon. Let me zoom in. You can choose this small icon to actually bring back to default colors. As you can see, it is showing that default foreground and background colors. D is the shortcut. So same thing will happen if you press D, or same thing will happen if you press this icon. Also, if you can see that there is actually a ruler here. So actually to make things like if you are actually into very heavy graphic designing and you want to absolutely place the elements according to the ruler, then you actually need to enable ruler. And ruler can be enabled by pressing Command R or Control R if you are using a Windows computer. That's why rulers can be made, and you can actually drag in guides for actually positioning your element. This is how the guides work. You can also make these guides anywhere you want. Also, if you want to put that back into the place, then you have to drag them into the ruler. If you have many guides like this, and you actually won't need to press everything back into the ruler, then you can simply tap Command plus colon to remove all the guides together. Control plus colon if you are using a Windows computer. That's how it works. So this is just the basics for this is just the basics for Photoshop, the tools and all. And I hope you will love this video and you will stick to the channel if you love this kind of Photoshop tutorials. This is just the first video of this series, so don't get disappointed because I haven't taught here anything. So please don't get disappointed by it. I will definitely teach something new in the later parts of the video or of the series, not this video, probably the next video. And this video is already 30 minutes long, as I can see in my current camera. So I don't want to make this video any longer, so I will just click Command Q or Control Q, I guess, if you are using Windows, or simply go here and quit Photoshop from here. This will actually pop up if you want to save anything. Currently I have not made anything in this canvas, so I won't need to save anything, so I will click don't save. But if you are making something, you need to click on save button. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you actually love this kind of video, because this is my first video in Photoshop CC 2019, and I will definitely teach you how to make things like social media banners and custom thumbnails for YouTube videos like that. Please hold on to the channel, you will probably get many more cool stuff from this series. And also, for those of you tech savvy guys who have subscribed to my channel, I am not going to leave making tech videos, and I will make tech videos like before as usual. So don't get disappointed that I am moving towards a designing channel and all. Also, if you guys have seen that I have changed my intro to Technosam Designs instead of only Technosam. So this channel will be on technology and designing as well. So if you are a tech savvy guys, so please don't unsubscribe to me, and I hope you will probably let me know your doubts or your queries in the comment section below. I will be happy to help you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.